Hello, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I'm going to talk about MBA program or PhD program choice and a really simple trick that's going to earn you millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime. So, if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There are so many people that helped me out to get through graduate school that I decided to pay the favor forward and help you out as much as I possibly can. So with making this simple trick, what exactly is it? It's really just making a very simple financial decision, rational choice. And this is what I would do if I were you, looking back in terms of the decisions that I made and the mistakes that I made. This is exactly what I would do. So the first thing that you would do is list out your alternatives that you are interested in. So look at the MBA programs, the PhD programs, and write it down on a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe you have about 10 of them that you're very much interested in. And it doesn't matter what they are, just list them out. And just make sure that they're in just that you put them in the rows and they're very simply laid out. And then the other thing that I would do, so the second thing that I would do is find the cost of the MBA program or the PhD or DBA program and put those beside those particular alternatives so that you have the actual program, and then you have the cost of the program. So the problem is what most people will do is they'll stop at the cost and then they'll start freaking out. What they're going to look at is some of the better programs are really, really expensive. And they're going to say, well, you know what, that's really expensive. I'm not going to actually go to those particular programs. I'm going to look for the cheapest alternative. That's not what you're supposed to do. In terms of a financial decision, what you should look at is the net benefit that's actually you're going to get. So you want to look at not only the costs, but you want to look at the revenue or the salaries that you're gonna make from that particular program. And so it's a bit of a trick though, in terms of what they're selling you. So you can get the average salary that you're going to make from going to that program. You can look at sort of Financial Times. They have the different listings and how much you're going to make. And that's a great thing, right? That's what you should look at is the average salaries. And so you want to calculate maybe out for the next 10 years what the average salary is going to be. Here's the trick, though. They're not going to tell you this kind of stuff unless you actually call them up. You call up the different programs and you look for this kind of thing. So what you need to also calculate is the probability of getting a job from that particular degree. And it's actually really, really simple. All you have to do is look at the percentage of the people that have been employed after the first year or maybe the first 2 years, whatever numbers that they have. Most programs should have that information if you call them up. They are going to have kind of a rough estimate of how many people are actually going to get a job after the course of 1 or 2 years, right? So if it's 50% of the people that are going to get a job after a couple of years, that's not really all that good. If it's 100%, that's great, right? So, and then the other thing you need to find out is the percentage of people that are actually completing the program, right? So you look at the number of people that actually start the program, the number of people that actually finish the program. So if there's, 10 people that start the program and then there's 5 people that don't complete and there's only 5 people at the end, that's not very good odds, right? So what you want to look at is the number of people that are actually completing, the number of people that are getting through. And you want to multiply those two numbers, right? The amount of people that are a percentage of people that are actually starting the program and getting through to the program times the probability you're going to get a job once you get out. So let's show you how this actually works, right? So if you get, there's 10 people that start a program and only 5 people complete it, right? So that's 50% chance of actually completing the program. And then there's only, say, of those 5 people at the end, there's only, 2 of them get a job over the course of the next 2 years, right? So that is only 40% chance that you're actually going to get a job at the end of it, right? So you multiply those two numbers, 50% times 40%, and then you end up getting, what is that? You're getting, I don't know. I'm really bad with math, but you'll figure out the number. You can look at the number and you can get that. You'll actually get the percentage of people that are actually starting the program and getting the job at the end of it. And then you multiply that probability times, and I apologize, I'm not really good at math on the fly. So then you multiply that probability times how much you're actually going to make at the end of it. And that is going to be your expected benefit that you're going to get from that particular choice, right? And it's going to take a little tiny bit of work. It might take you a half a day to do that. The problem, the issue is nobody's going to do that. So you're going to have a jump on everybody else in terms of making this decision, right? So now you actually have the expected value of actually starting this program, right? Because you can calculate the net benefit from that particular degree, right? So you look at the net benefit of the MBA, for example, or net benefit of the DBA that you're taking. And so you look at the salaries gained, expected salaries gained from the MBA or PhD or DBA program, and you have to, the salary gained, again, so the trick is that you look at your current salary and you look at how much you're expected to make from doing that particular degree, and then you subtract the costs of the program. And what you get is the net benefit, right? So here you have this calculation. It's really, really simple if you think about it. It's just how much you're going to make from that particular program minus how much it's actually going to cost. The costs are going to be guaranteed. You're probably always going to spend those particular costs. They're not going to vary that much unless you get scholarships and things like that. But for the salaries are going to vary a fair bit based on where you go and different things like that, right? So what this does is if you go to a really expensive program and it's clearly really, really expensive, you're not just going to look at the costs and freak out, right? You're going to look at the benefit. So let's say it's a really expensive program, but the benefits are just astronomical, right? Compared to every other program. You're actually going to look at this difference and you're going to say, wow, you actually make a fair bit of money by doing this particular decision, by going to this particular school or going to this particular either MBA or PhD program, or whatever you're interested in, or DBA program, right? And so if the net benefit is less than zero, that's probably not a decision that you should take. That means you're actually going to lose money from that decision. Right, that alternative is going to make you, it's going to make you lose money in the long run, right? Unless you're actually doing that particular, if you make that choice for non-financial reasons, right? You're just doing it for, the love of that thing that you're doing, right? So let's say, and I can illustrate that, right? So let's say you are already making $200,000 in the marketplace, which is not like unusual if you're a financial analyst or something like that, right? That's not going to be unusual. And you have years of experience. You're already making $200,000. And then you choose to do an MBA program, and your net benefit from that is maybe $210,000, right? So or the actual amount of money that you're actually going to make, the salaries you're going to make is $210,000. Well, it's going to be really hard to recoup the costs of that particular decision by just making a $10,000 increase per year, and spending all the time that actually takes to do that particular degree, right? So you're not going to get that much benefit from that. But you might want to do that simply because you want to make a career choice. You don't like what you're doing, or maybe you're thinking of doing a PhD, for example, and there's all these financial sort of reasons why it's a really good sort of career choice or something like that, right? That's what we're looking at. If the net benefit, so if that's negative, that's what you want to sort of think about, right? If the net benefit is positive and you don't get your returns for maybe 5 years, right? So you're looking 5 years out and the returns are not there, then that's a pretty good decision. You probably should do that. 5-year return on something that's a positive return, that's pretty good. A lot of things are not going to net you 5-year positive returns, right? Just a lot of decisions, starting your own business, for example, anything like that. It's sometimes, a lot of times will take you longer than 5 years to recoup the cost of doing that investment. If the returns are within a year or two, right? So you are going to make instantly, you're going to make a net benefit from that particular choice, and it's going to be within the next year. You should drop what you're doing and actually pursue that thing. That is an amazing return, right? And there are some times where it's like that, right? So maybe you are in customer service and you're making $30,000 a year, But if you do an MBA and it's going to make you, maybe it's $150,000 a year, and the MBA itself only costs $50,000, right? So you're getting an increase right there of $100,000, and you're making $30,000. Well, in the first year, you're going to make $70,000 of a return. That's a really positive thing. You should drop what you're doing and go do that particular thing. Go get that particular degree almost like instantly, right? Like as fast as you possibly can, because you're going to recoup that benefit that you're actually getting, right? The net benefit is going to come to you very, very quickly. So what I'm getting you to think about is making a financial decision, or a really rational, simple decision, which most people are not going to do. What they're going to do is make their decision based on where their parents went, based on maybe it is, the favorite football team. Maybe it's based on the geographic location, all these different things. That's how they're going to make their decisions for school choice. And most people are going to do that. They're not going to look at this sort of very simple financial decision. If you could do that, you can get a jump on everybody else that most people are just not going to see. And if you get this jump and you make this financial decision and you just simply invest at least part of the money that you have earned, first of all, if you make a lot of money, send it to me. No, please don't. That's not what I'm looking for. So if you make this money and you reinvest it in just index funds, which are really simple mutual funds, there's no magic to them, very, very simple stuff. And you do that for years and years and years. You do that for 10 years. You can recoup your money and make millions of dollars simply by making that decision from the money that you earned. It's pretty simple stuff. Actually, that's how most people become millionaires, is they just do very simple stuff. They make very simple, rational decisions at these critical moments in their life. They look at it and they say, you know what, this is a good way to do this thing because it's going to make me a little bit of money. This is a bad way to do these things. I'm not going to do that thing. And they're going to have some sort of clear information in front of them that's going to help them make this decision. It's going to take you a couple of hours to do this. You might have to rewatch this video a couple of times to see what I'm talking about and try to understand what I'm talking about. But it's very simple once you actually get down to the brass tacks, and it's going to save you millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime. It's probably going to make you millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime if you do this very simply, do this very rationally, and you just take your time with this decision. Try not to make decisions based on simple things like geography or maybe it's your own personal interests, your football teams, all that kind of stuff. Just look at the financial information, and it's going to save you a world of hurt going forward. All right. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.